So Edsal is the manufacturer of shelving units, storage shelving units for home use, industrial use. We wanted more of our invoices to flow through automatically instead of in our old process, everything kind of stopped. Our AP would look at them, review them, and such. Now with Nimbello, we're able to have invoices come in against a purchase order. They had a receipt against it. And as long as all the things were aligned, the quantity, the values, the customer, everything, and the receipt was made, it'll flow right through Nimbello into our ERP system N4 and post as a voucher. So that's beautiful. Nobody has to touch all the perfect ones. And so now we're dealing on an exception base, which is great. Now you have a lot less to have to deal with, and you can spend more time on those exception items that ask why is the vendor not set up, why is the cost wrong, why is the quantity wrong, and addressing those things. Another thing through the AP automation process is being able to reach out and send data through Nimbello to people asking them questions about a specific purchase order, about an invoice. It's another thing that we didn't like about. And so we want somebody that had experience with N4. On top of that, experience with N4 with CSI, which is a cloud suite, industrial, right? So now our ERP systems in the cloud and communicating from with a third-party system into that and back and forth and everything is not as easy as it sounds. We were working with an N4 group on our AP automation in the beginning, and then found that they were unable to do many of the things that we wanted to. And we went looking, came across Nimbello and saw that you guys had experience with N4 and also had experience with dealing with the cloud CSI. So that was huge to us. And with your partner from FAIC, we worked with a gentleman named Denny. He was wonderful in helping us get all this laid out so quickly and everything. And that was the other thing. As I noted, we were looking at a different solution, and it didn't work out for us. Or weren't able to meet the needs that we had. So that really pushed us late into our go live. So we were already, implementing ERP systems and stuff, going down that path. And then we found out we're unable to use them, so we had to quickly get somebody on board who could actually quickly get this AP solution on board. And we had a very tight time frame, and you guys were able to meet those needs as well. So that was another reason that we were also very excited about coming with you guys, bringing you guys on. And another thing, we have a little bit more of a complexity because we have a multi-tenant within N4 ERP system. They're called sites. Within Nimbello, they're called tenants. So we have 6 tenants that we're utilizing. So that adds a little bit of complexity when you're moving things around between the tenants and the posting. And all of that went smoothly. So I'm very happy with it. We have some complexities with some of our vendors where they're issuing multiple invoices for a single line on the PO. It's almost a blanket purchase order, but not. And they're getting multiple lines on a PO, multiple receipts against a single line on the PO. There's lots of complexities here that we're working with, and we can reach out still with Nimbello, and we have a couple of these where I say, hey, this is kind of kicking out as an error. We don't know how to handle it. You can talk to them right online, right inside Nimbello, ask a question. They come back, and let us know how to do it. So we're loving the fact that when the PO is received, we issue a PO to our vendor, the vendor sends the product, we receive that product, the invoice comes in, it looks at the quantity that was ordered, the quantity that was received, the pricing on our purchase order, the costing on that invoice, and it's all aligned. And meshes it all together, it says, okay, we're all good to go. Throw that voucher over to import posts it, and now it's in our AP ready to go. That we never had before, and that's a wonderful thing, as I noted earlier, because now we can take time to look at our exceptions more than just going through with the normal course of business posting. So that's a big deal with us. We are with our non-PO invoicing as well, which is another complexity that some of the other places we've looked at were unable to handle. They were able to handle the POs, but not the non-POs. And that process with our, and then directed, we have a approval matrix that we follow on our things that we attach to a vendor. This vendor has an approval matrix. This vendor has an approval matrix. They're grouped. I mean, we have them grouped, so there's not one for every vendor, but there's one for groups of vendors. So when a non-PO invoice comes in, it will follow that step. It will go into the first person who has the delegation of authority to a certain point. And if they have the whole thing, they can approve it for payment. Then they review and approve it, will go to the next one. And that was one that we didn't have either in our last system. is this delegation where you can move it down the line pretty quickly and easily. So we're enjoying that as well. So a couple of new things that we like. Well, like what I liked on this one, it was a very hands-on approach, very patient with us, taking the time to go through all the different steps, answering. As I said, I use errors. I don't joke about that too often because it's true. I'm one who will make the same mistake multiple times, and they've been everyone's been very patient in helping through. And so if people are looking for an organization that's going to take the time to help with you, work with you in the beginning, work with you at the goal line, and solve the problems, it's been a great experience. And I'd love for anyone to work with your group because you guys have been. That's my biggest thing. Mistakes are always going to happen. It's how a business handles it. And it's been great. I think the overall experience from when we first made a phone call and started asking about this, and then everything since then has been great. It's just been a really great relationship, and we just look forward to keep building on it.